Let the battle begin!
And that's going to be a 4-man mosh pit with the Ring of Frost connecting huge.
This is actually going to be the big showdown.
And that's a triple kill.
A huge flame strike going on to everybody. Here's the Riptire onto the Magic. The Magic is in trouble.
We might have a comeback for the ages.
It's very close. This boss is not even dead, but 65% of the core here. This could be game.
All right, everyone, and welcome to the NGS Showdown pregame show. Tonight, we have a super duper extra spectacular game in store for you. Coming right out of my very own division, Division D East. Arguably the best division. So what do you say we get ready for some Heroes of the Storm? I'm, of course, your esteemed host, Turd Herder, and tonight, we're going to bring you an inside look into our featured matchup for the week, Frank's Furters versus Luciodology. As always, to help us with this, we're going to have two of our exceptionally experienced analysts. Covering Frank's Furters will be our guest analyst and NGS co-founder, Voodoo. And covering Luciodology, we have... Wait a minute, that can't be right. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's right.
All right. Covering Luciodology will be your esteemed host, Turd Herder. Let's kick things off with an interview with the support player of Frank's Furters, Indecisive. Take it away, Voodoo.
Thanks, Turd. It's Voodoo here from NGS, and today I am joined by Indecisive from Frank's Furters, featured in this Division D East Thursday night showdown. So welcome, Indecisive. How are you doing today?
Living the dream.
So yeah, I'm very glad to be here. I'm glad you're here, Indecisive. I'm actually really happy to be able to do this interview. I know Frank's Furters has been around, I want to say since Season 1, if not Season 2. So it's one of the founding teams of NGS, so I'm really glad you guys are here. Thanks again.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard on the Nexus Edge last week. I was kind of giving you guys a hard time, but...
Yeah, I did hear about that.
No offense on that one. It's just funny. I
Yeah.
know in the past you guys have always not done the greatest, but I really I'll even give a personal thank you for just sticking it out. So I remember back in the day, people used to have to send me all the stats at the end of the day to kind of report the matches, and I'd always be like, "Oh, Frank's Furters, another loss." Oh. And
that was rough.
it's just funny because all the other teams. Well, you know, right? Teams that aren't doing that well, teams drop out during the season. So I was always thinking I feel bad for these guys, but you guys really stuck it out. So I just want to say thanks for helping out and making NGS what it is today. So I just want to know a little bit more about Frank's Furters. How long have you guys been playing together?
We've been playing together for 3-4 years, something like that. We've known each other since high school, so since the beginning of high school.
Oh, right on. So you guys played other games together and stuff as well, or mostly?
We
mostly
played
HOTS?
a lot of Call of Duty and stuff. But...
Oh, nice. That's good. It probably helps with the old team chemistry.
Yep.
So I was told to ask you about the name Frank's Furters. I heard you had something to do with that. If you want to tell me what.
Yeah, there was one night, because I was the last one to join Heroes of the Storm, so I was by far the worst player, and so we had a vote for who would be team captain, and so they ironically voted for me as a joke, and so we named it Frank's Furters after our captain.
Nice. But you are no longer the captain now, is that correct?
Correct. Dalian Pig is the captain, but I still do the drafts.
Fair enough, yeah. You don't need the headache of scheduling and stuff, hey? Pass that on to someone else. Yeah.
Yep.
How often do you guys practice generally?
At least one game a day. Most days a lot more than that.
Okay.
As much as we can.
And speaking of tonight's match, Luciodology, let's go with that. Have you guys played them before in the past?
Yeah, we actually lost them in previous seasons.
Oh no.
But I think we're looking pretty good for a win tonight.
No, I think tonight's matchup's gonna be really good. You guys are 3-0, right? I think you guys are 6-2 on maps.
Yep. Yep.
And they're 2-1, but they've only lost one more map than you. I think they're 5 wins and 3 losses, so it's very, very tight. Yeah. Any other teams in like in your division that you have a big rivalry against, or that you've played in previous seasons?
No, we played in previous seasons. I honestly don't remember, but I think Nexus Cats is definitely a matchup that we're looking forward to facing again because that was very close and we enjoyed that.
That's good. Yeah, no, they're a fun bunch of guys too. So it's always good to beat those guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any long-term, I guess, goals with HOTS? Your team?
I mean, take it as far as we can. If we keep on moving up like we are, just take it all the way to Div-S, of course.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, realistically, just whatever happens, happens.
And yourself personally, any goals, or just?
Like I said, if I'm able to climb the division ladder, I'll totally do that. But realistically, I just want to play the game.
Playing with the buds, having some games, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. So you play support for your team, that's correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I was just looking. You seem to lean towards playing Lucio, hey?
I do.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Would you say he's your favorite support to play, or he's just the strongest in your opinion now, or what's?
My favorite sport's actually Oreo, but the unfortunate thing is that she's hot garbage. So I've been playing a lot of Lucio because he feels really strong and he's got a lot of versatility. So.
It's true, right? Helping your team speed around and stuff is quite handy sometimes. I noticed they like to play Deckard Cain a lot on the other team. Might as well talk about support since we've got you here. Do you like Deckard Cain at all?
I used to love Cain until they changed his potion from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. I felt like that nerf really. But overall, he's still solid, I think, but he has some weaknesses.
Yeah. I mean, I guess his CC is still strong, but yeah, his healing's gone down quite a bit with the nerfs in the past. So you guys pretty much always seem to run the two warrior, 2 assassin, and a healer comp. And I mean, this matchup's so good this week. Luciodology pretty much does the exact same thing. I think 2 maps they've swapped out the mage for an Asmodan, so a specialist, but otherwise, so I think there's gonna be a lot of highly contested heroes. I mean, not just healers. I think the mages and auto attackers are pretty similar. Sure. I was just looking at both rosters, and it should be a pretty awesome match to watch. So I'm very excited for tonight.
Should be an interesting draft for sure.
Yeah, it seems like you guys like different maps though, which is good, I guess. Get a little bit of variety that ways. Yeah. What do you think you guys' strongest map is right now?
Personally, I think Infernal Shrines is definitely our strongest map at the moment. Just because in the past we've had some really good showings on it. Yeah, I think Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrines, okay. Yeah, I think you guys are 2-1 on that map this season, so which is pretty good. And they like Towers of Doom and Battlefield of Eternity. So I guess a little bit more either 2-lane map or a little bit more objective focused. So
yeah.
Perhaps you guys like the bigger maps and doing a little bit more macro, I don't know, but that's something we'll be able to see tonight.
For sure.
I think that'll do it for now. Let's pass this back on over to Turd Herder in the studio there, but I just want to say thanks again, Indecisive, for joining me tonight. And
thanks for having me.
I wish you guys good luck tonight, and I'll let you get back to your team so you can get ready for the match.
All right.
Thanks, Voodoo. Now let's send it on over to Turd Herder for an interview with Takulu. Over to you, Turd Herder. Thanks, Turd Herder. I'm really loving the tie tonight. All right, everyone. Tonight in the Chicago studios, I've been joined by Takulu from Luciodology. Welcome, and thank you for being here tonight.
Hey, Turd Herder. Good to be here.
Very nice. Hey, so how long have you guys been playing together?
Well, it's been a couple years now. Been together a good amount of time.
How long have you guys been competing in NGS?
We started in last season.
Okay.
So this would be our second season in NGS.
Great. And so I got a comment on it. Is that a Luciodology jersey?
It is, yes. These are our limited edition Luciodology jerseys. I can't really turn around, but they are custom embroidered.
So it has your name
Nothing
and your...
but the best.
That's fantastic. Oh man, there's a lot of jealous teams out there right now that just saw that and were like, "Oh my gosh, why didn't we think of that?"
Yeah, well, you know.
Very. So, a little bit about that. So, how often do you guys practice?
Well, we try to practice once or twice a week. You know, life and commitments. Our team is scattered across the entire U.S., so it can sometimes be tough to get games together.
Yep.
But we definitely tried to bring it together at least once or twice a week to play a few Hero League games and try to make sure we don't get rusty.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your division. So, are there any other teams in your division that you're watching out for?
Well, I mean, our Frank's Furters, honestly. We played against them last year. Didn't do as well as I'd hoped, but I think we've got a really good chance to take them down this time. But
so you're looking for
really one of the ones I remember from last time.
Absolutely. How do you guys feel that you stack up in the division? You're currently ranked what, number 4, I think?
3rd or 4th, depending on the day. Yes.
Depends who plays what and when. Yeah. So how do you think you stack up? Do you think you are a first or second place team, or are you right where you should be?
I think we're good. I don't know if we're first in the division anymore. I did call that after our first win. I said we were going to go undefeated. Sadly, that has not come to pass. But I do definitely think we're a top of the tables team. We've got some really good synergies. I know where all the players are going to be. We've got good communications, and I think that's going to take us really far.
Yeah, and that definitely comes from a more experienced team or a team that's played, 1, 2, 3 seasons with NGS. So.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely been a noticeable improvement in communication, even between the end of last season and the beginning of this one.
Absolutely. Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there watching that maybe aren't from Div D, and they're probably asking, why are they watching? Why are we watching a Div D team tonight? What would you say to them?
Welcome to the fiesta.
Yeah, that is a good answer.
No, Div D is a lot of fun to play in, a lot of fun to watch. People don't take things quite as seriously. You're going to see a lot more interesting picks, a lot more interesting team compositions. We've played against 2 Murkies in 3 matches, which I was not expecting.
No.
But it's a lot of fun games. You get to see all kinds of cool champion diversity and map diversity, and you get to watch people make mistakes, which I always think is a really fun part of the games because it means anything can happen.
And going back 1 second to the kind of the fun heroes, what if you feel like sharing, what should we expect from Luciodology from heroes? Are there any heroes that you have on the books that you want to tell us, or?
Well, of course, there's my Lunara.
Your Lunara.
I can't go without mentioning my Lunara. But I would like to say we have an Alarak player who has been permanently banned out. This is our 4th match of the season, and he has not had a single game where Alarak has made it past the first ban phase. So
I actually saw that. I saw that you guys had 7 Alarak bans, and I was going to ask about that. So it's been banned out every single time?
Yep. So, I'm calling out Frank's Furters here. Don't ban Alarak and see what happens.
Let the man play. So, before we kind of get into a little bit tonight, what are your goals and expectations for the season? It's obviously not to go undefeated anymore, but, where can we see you guys?
We definitely are looking to stay at the top of the tables.
Yep.
Top half at least. Certainly go into playoffs. Last year we made it to semifinals. We'd like to. I
was going to say, so you guys actually made it out of the wild card weekend?
Well, semifinals of the wild card weekend.
I got you.
So, if possible, we'd like to at least make it to the finals of that one. If not, move towards the top of our division.
Absolutely. Now, so I want to talk about tonight's game. What, if any, research have you guys done into Frank's Furters?
Well, we've been reading their match histories. We've been watching their tapes. We've got a strategist on our team who's been watching it, and letting us know what we think. So we're excited. We've got some counter picks planned. We've got some strategies scouted out.
Very nice.
So we think we're in a pretty good position to beat them at their own game.
The homework's been done. Now we just got to put a pencil to paper, so to speak, right?
Absolutely. We've done the studying, and it's time for the test.
There you go. So with that research, what is most scariest about Frankfurter's team to you?
Well, I think they're just a very strong technical execution team.
Okay.
They've been playing a lot of nothing too gimmicky, sticking to strong fundamentals and overpowering teams. So I think that plays into a lot of our strengths, but it's going to be a really interesting, nice, fair, classic Heroes of the Storm match.
Very nice. And so I think I might have already asked this, so I apologize if I have, but is there anything, here's how I'll ask it. Besides Alaric, is there anything that you don't want your opponents to know about your team?
Well, we've got a bunch of smaller picks, stuff that may come out if they really dig into our champ pool. Got a player who we got to keep holding back from playing Murky. I've been practicing up on my Medivh, so maybe we'll see that.
Murky Medivh, I'm ready, so.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, exactly. Before we head out, though, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do these interviews and do the casting. I think it's really great to shed some light on Division D and some of these lower tier players like me. And keep doing what you're doing. And everyone out there, enjoy the rest of the games.
Very nice. And any last words for Frankfurters? Any light smack talking? Anything?
You're going down.
Going down.
Don't ban Alarak and see what happens.
There we go. All right. I think that just about wraps it up. Thank you, Takulu.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to send it on back to you, Turd. Thank you for that interesting and insightful interview, Turd Herder. Looking handsome as ever. And now, to wrap things up, let's get into some final thoughts and predictions from our two analysts.
So after hearing from both captains, I guess it comes down to prediction time. All I can say is that it's going to be a very entertaining match tonight. Looking at how similar the teams build, their similar records, they're both 4th and 5th seed right now, with only one map separating them in the standings. It is going to be quite the showdown. Excuse the pun, but actually don't excuse it. It was on purpose. Very similar comps, looking at the same assassins, very similar tanks. Even the healers are kind of similar, so it's gonna be quite entertaining. They both seem to like the similar style of gameplay. If I had to make a prediction of who's gonna win tonight, though, just based on, a little bit personal feelings, maybe I'm gonna side with Frankfurters tonight, just because it's good to see them doing so well this year. Or this season. I know in the past they always haven't done that, but they've always stuck it out and been here supporting NGS. So I'm kind of however it shakes down tonight, I'm excited, but I am gonna go with Frankfurters on this one. Thanks. Back to you, Turd.
All right. So we've heard from Voodoo, we've heard from Indecisive, we've heard from Takulu. So what do we got here? This is gonna be a good match. Either way you cut it. You have two really close ranked teams in Division D East. It's a 4 and a 5 seed playing each other. At least currently they're 4 and 5. I think, as Takulu said, they're ready for Frankfurter's straightforward kind of thinking. They have the Murky Medivh pocket picks. Are we going to see that tonight? I don't know. But I'm really impressed that they're ready for it. You can tell that he's confident in what he's saying. And frankly, I just think they've done their homework and they're ready for this. So, as far as predictions go, my vote, Luciodology, all the way. Back to you, Turd. All right, everyone, that's all the time we're going to have for you today. But don't you go anywhere, because coming up right after this, we have the Thursday Night Showdown. We're going to go ahead and send it on over to Murda and Ghostunk, who are going to be casting it for us and get this match underway. I want to give a big thank you to all of our cast and crew for tonight, and thank you to all of you guys for tuning on in. Hope you enjoy the match. This is Turd Herder here saying, adios, amigos. See you next time.
Let the battle begin!
And that's going to be a 4-man mosh pit with the Ring of Frost connecting huge.
This is actually going to be the big showdown.
And that's a triple kill.
A huge flame strike going on to everybody. Here's the Riptire onto DiMaggio. DiMaggio's in trouble.
We might have a comeback for the ages.
It's very close. This boss is not even dead, but 65% of the core here. This could be game.
Welcome everybody to tonight's Thursday night showdown. I am B-Train704 and I am here with Ghost Dunk. Give a shout out, Ghost Dunk. What's up? How's it going?
Howdy,
man?
howdy. It's going really good. Did you get that name right?
Which one?
That no, the other caster's name. I'm Ghost Dunk and you're I thought it was Murda.
No Murda.
No.
I know Herda said that it would be Murda and Ghost Dunk, but unfortunately I have to disappoint you guys. This is the B-Train show tonight, so you better, get your slow motion ready because some of these team fights are going to be a little quick.
All right, excellent. Well, we've got for you tonight a D East matchup. We've got Frank's Furters versus Luciodology. And as you guys saw the pregame show, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. We're very excited for both these teams. They both are very close in skill, and we're excited to get started. So, B-Train, I don't have it in front of me. Let us know what where we're starting at in terms of maps.
So for our maps, we actually have the first two bans already. It was bans on Dragonshire and Sky Temple. The first map we're going to is going to be Volskaya Foundry, and I believe it was picked by Luciodology. So first pick should probably be to Frank's Footers if all is well. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good map to kind of test everybody's mettle on.
Yeah, Volskaya has got a lot of team fighting. The objective is very good. So I've heard even in the so-called AFK strategies team, we're still fighting on the point because having the protector can help out a lot if a team wants to grab it. Another option is there's a lot of room for aggressive play. You can invade your opponent's camps quite often. So we see that kind of thing coming across a lot. So it's very exciting for this.
Yeah, and this is also one of those maps where people can really do that whole testing your opponent's thing. There's lots of really important camps and things on the map that are very important outside of the objective. So we'll see how if these teams kind of play kind of scared around each other, if they give each other the respect that some teams show, or if it's just, gloves off and we're invading camps at minute one.
Yeah, especially, they were talking about an Alarak. If they let that through, that could be a sign that they're going to get pretty aggressive.
Alarak is one of those heroes that if you're good at him, he can absolutely do work and get you picks. He can win team fights. He can do outstanding damage. He's got poke. He's got burst. And, with the current build being with that lightning strike, losing sadism late game isn't as condemning as it used to be, but it's still kind of important. So we'll see if it does get through, if they want to try to target it and keep him under control.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to get to the draft here. This being a Division D game, each division has its own meta. I've not cast any Division D games this season yet, so I'm very interested to see what the meta is on this map. Are we going to get picks like Asmodan? Are certain members going to have one tricks that they're going to be able to pull out and throw in the mix? We heard the pregame show analysis of both of these teams, so I'm looking to see if any of that comes true.
Yeah, absolutely. I've cast a couple Division D games, most notably Asmo Carey was one of the teams. I remember because they have Jim Carrey sitting on Asmodan's body. It's a fantastic logo. So in the lower state, like I'm in Division C myself, so in Division C and D, a lot of the times you can see teams focus less on banning what's meta and more on banning targeted for the team they're going against. So that could be a strategy we see, and if people are banning Alarak against Luciodology, then we could see that trend continue.
Yeah. So, but I'm very excited to get into the draft. It looks like everybody is ready to go here. We're just waiting for the start of the game. The emotes are flying in the chat. Both these teams are ready to roll. Everyone's going in. Here we are in Volskaya Foundry, and joining us, we have not just Naz, we've got a full panel ready to go. I'd like to welcome our guests, Rio Kai and Satat. Satat was on last week. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and Satat, you guys just came off of a win in your first Division S game, so congratulations.
Thank you. It was stressful, but it was fun. So glad Div S is done and I can come in here and help you guys out.
Awesome, and there's the Alarak band immediately. The challenge has not been met, but yeah, I'd like to also welcome Rio Kai. He's, are you on a team currently?
I've not. I've been coaching the Reborn Knights Black team in B East and a little bit of Logical Decision in B West.
Awesome to hear. And both of these people are Grandmasters joining us. I'm not going to name numbers, but one is 20 points higher than the other in terms of placement. But we're going to have them join us to suss out these drafts here. And we're seeing the Alarak band, of course, and now the Garrosh band, but here's a Deckard band. Now, that one's a little bit interesting. Deckard, of course, can be very strong on this map, but it's not a very meta ban, and neither is Raynor right up top. Is there like a Raynor one trick on the side of Frank's Furters?
Yeah, Frankfurters has played a lot of Raynor, and Luciodology also has played a lot of Deckard, so I think those are definitely target bans.
Okay, target ban's very useful in a matchup like this where both of these teams are very close. Both these teams have been in the league for a while. I know Frankfurters has at least 2 seasons, but maybe even more. So, you know, both teams are very familiar with each other. And ETC first pick, that's an interesting first pick. I've not seen the cow pick this early in quite a while.
And one of my personal favorite heroes has made it through this draft, Diablo, and then followed by the Orphea, the Coffin Girl, we'll call her for this special night only. Anyone who's seen any of my casts before knows specifically how I feel about this hero. She's very strong. She's got range. She's got mobility. Weak to some lockdown, but when you have the Diablo on your side, he's a pretty good bodyguard almost.
You see the Lucio picked up. We heard in the pregame show that Lucio's a fan of Frankfurters is a fan of Lucio, and the Genji. Genji always powerful. Genji, do you think get on top of the Orphea here, or does she have enough mobility to avoid being hunted down?
I think it comes down to kind of like that matchup of skill, and a lot of the times we see Diablo picked up as a counter to those backline diving heroes, like even a Zeratul, as he just has that point-and-click CC to instantly grab a hold of somebody. So if Genji comes in a little too early and doesn't get that reset to get out on time, Diablo's just going to slam him up against a wall, and Genji's going to be forced to use the rest of his mobility to get out of dodge.
True. We see the Dahaka band coming out from Luciodology, I believe is the pronunciation. Interesting ban. I don't see him played a whole lot on this map. He is played, but the lack of bushes is a factor. And this you see a Stukov band out, also another healer that likes the point control. And the next 2 picks coming out from Luciodology. Satat, Ryokai, what do you think you want to see from the rest of this draft?
On the side of Luciodology, I would expect since a Stukov band, you still have Anna up, you still have Tronda. Tronda's pretty strong into what Franks is doing, so that could probably be what they're taking, and Zera is also a good pick, so like that.
Zeratul and Brightwing, do you think that the Dahaka maybe was kind of a denial of global so that they can have global control with Brightwing?
I think possibly. Also, Brightwing, she's good at laning. She's good at sitting down there, soaking up the XP, but she doesn't have the greatest of wave clear. And she always has to go in on a teammate. Like back in the day, everybody remembers the classic Brightwing bomb, where you blink in with that emerald. So I think they did a good job trying to guarantee they have map soak and the ability to appear anywhere on the map. But I hear the call.
Yeah. Rexar getting a lot more popularity lately. He's very strong right now. Actually, the extra damage on Misha makes him a lot more formidable. And now a double reset comp also coming out in the form of Genji and Li Ming.
The one thing I worry about here for the side of Frank's Furters is that sustained damage. Genji, you know, really capitalizes on those reset fights, as does Li Ming. And once you start knocking bodies down, you have a lot of just run them over power, dude. Win harder heroes. But with an Arthas and a Diablo to eat some skill shots, the spell power of a Brightwing, and the mobility of Zeratul and Orphea, if you miss those reset windows, I think it could spell, you know, disaster potentially on some of these points.
Yeah, agreed. Arthas and Diablo, the Luciodology wants to run it down. All right, let's go to our panel for some analysis. So let's start with Ryokai. What do you think of these drafts?
On the side of Frankfurters, the main weakness I'm noticing is they don't have a lot of great wave clear. Of course, you know, you mentioned they're a very aggressive team comp, so I think they'll probably be looking to invade potentially on these camps, and if they can get those kills, I think they have a good chance. But I think I give this over to Luciodology for game one, personally.
Okay, that's a vote for Luciodology. And now going over to Satat, what do you think of these drafts?
So just like Ryokai said, wave clear is huge on this map. The second thing you want to be able to do is take the camp on cooldown. And it's gonna be a struggle for Franks to do that. You want Rexar maybe to do it, or Genji, and that's gonna be kind of hard to do that. So I definitely think Lucidology, if they have Zeratul rotating into those camps and taking those camps quickly and on cooldown, Lucidology can win this, and I think they do have the better draft in this scenario.
All right, I'm inclined to agree. So that's another vote over for me from Luciodology.
And getting into this game here, it looks like we are going to have both of these teams lining up. And it looks like on the left side for Frankfurters, we are going to have Dallying Pig on the ETC, Boggs on the Genji, Magic Master on the Li Ming, Cruncher 77 on Rexar, and Indecisive on the Lucio.
And on the red side, we've got Luciodology with Galactos playing Brightwing, Lemony Fresh on the Orphea, Tekulu on the Arthas, Eugenios on the Diablo, and Hendron playing Zeratul. All right, both teams lining up here. Rex are starting mid, not opting to go to the soul lane at first, and Arthas just kind of checking to see what's going on. So maybe find somebody. Arthas looking to grab the stacks for his Frost Presence quest. 20 stacks will get you a lot of bonus on your Howling Blast. It's going to increase its range by 30%. And rooting the 20 heroes, it also roots enemies in its path, so you get a nice long path of roots.
Yeah, and looking at these talents coming through, we are going to have the Greater Polymorph immediately out from the Brightwing here, looking to increase the duration, or excuse me, the range that she can cast the Polymorph, and getting the resets whenever you get takedowns on a Polymorph target.
All right, and no real surprises on the side of Frankfurters for any of these. Both these teams really just kind of playing loose, just, you know, clearing the wave. No one really trying to make any kind of movement. You have Brightwing teleporting up to Zeratul to give him a little bit of health, and so he can fight the bear a little bit more. But Rexar's going to heal that bear right up later. And this is an interesting lane up top. Rexar actually decides to go top for the solo instead of going bottom. Speaking of bottom, Arthas is in trouble. Genji trying to make a gank along with Lucio. Now Orphea rotates bottom. Arthas has to back up. It looks like he has plenty of health, so these teams not really having. Finally, we have somebody going to camp at 1 minute 45, so a little bit late in the caption. Frankfurters are not even thinking about camps right now.
Camp super
important.
There
they are.
See the invade coming in here from Frankfurters. ETC coming in. This is bringing everybody down except for Zeratul and the Rexar. We're gonna get the root onto the point. We're gonna get the swift strike through, but the damage not quite there. They do steal the camp for Frankfurters. They pick up the turret, and now their main job is to try to get out of here.
Yeah, they throw the turret down, so you know, kind of a win and a loss in terms of invading that camp. They steal the turret away, but they don't get to keep it themselves to the point. So it's kind of I'll give them a half a point for that invade rather than a full point. But it wasn't, you know, it wasn't negative. They got out with their lives. They didn't give up any XP, and they're still ahead in the XP. So a nice, you know, aggressive move there. And it looks like they, you know, they haven't forgot about camps. So they're just saving their camp for now.
And the idea is that you want to take that camp as early as possible so that it does reset the cooldown during this first point control phase. And so they've denied the camp of the other team, so now they won't have to worry about facing a turret, but they don't have their own, and possibly with the timing they won't have a second one under their control either.
All right, Luciodology gritting their camp top. So far, Frank's Furters has not gotten any camps. So we're looking at Diablo kind of stepping up, trying to clear this wave, make room for Luciodology to start invading. Zeratul's going to take the time to get themselves some soak. They are ahead in XP now, and now Frank's Furters grabbing their turret. So it's going to be an advantage in terms of items in favor of Frank's Furters. But now Luciodology think about moving on to the point.
XP about even, a little bit of a lead to Luciodology, but that could just be the lanes. But with that top camp pressure, it is going to start causing them to miss soak, and they will start taking a little bit of structure damage.
Yeah, a little bit of structure damage. Oh, and then Hentron is in trouble. Backs out. The Genji Swift Strike does not kill Zeratul. The turret is down, and Diablo is taking the brunt of it. Yuji is trying to get out. He gets stunned against the wall, and down goes Diablo.
Reset composition doing its job, getting that damage in, getting that kill in the first Trig Lob at 4 minutes is already under the control of Frank's Furters.
All right, Frank's Furters winning the early team fight. Rexar now moving up top just to grab the soak and clean up that camp. That camp didn't get a whole lot done, but now the Protector moving top. Nobody's down bottom soaking, so that's going to give a slight soak advantage over to Luciodology, and Arthas maybe trying to double soak. As it were, maximize the XP, but meanwhile, this Protector is hammering on the front wall.
Yeah, they immediately took it top, and with everybody else up here, they are missing the soak from some of these other lanes, but instantly trying to knock this fountain down and trying to get the fort damage done. But Arthas is pushing out the other lanes here, and with that, they're going to miss a little bit of XP, so getting this fort will try to make up for that.
Yeah, this fort is going down. They've got the well, which is the main reason this Protector goes top. But there's Zeratul, a big chunk of damage, but Hentron is out of mana. He has to back out. They're not going to get a lot done here. In fact, ETC may get the kill, get the slide, and the shove on the Diablo, and Diablo goes down again. And there want to be more. The Swift Strike almost lands on the Zeratul, almost takes him down, but Zeratul will back out just fine. Arthas now getting as much soak as he can, and they didn't lose a whole lot. They got a kill there, but they're still very close in XP terms.
Yeah, actually a little bit of a lead now that they have that fort down, so the passive XP will be coming in their favor.
Yeah, passive XP, it takes a long while for that to really come into play, and if the wave gets pushed out too far, they're not going to get the minion soak they otherwise would have, so it can end up being a wash depending on how teams play it. And now Brightwing going in to help Zeratul with this camp, and Frank's Furters sniff it out. They've got 4 members here compared to 2. Arthas now joining. It's going to be a 4v4. Zeratul trying to get as much damage as he can. Arthas and Diablo finally on the point. They're trying to take it. Here comes Orphea putting so much damage into the zone. They're trying to take this camp, but Li Ming has to back out. But gets Zeratul instead. Magic Master escapes with 35 points, but not until Orphea throws an auto attack in. Indecisive, it's just skating all around. They can't kill Lucio. The fortification camp goes over to Frank's Furters, who are just killing it in team fighting this game.
Yeah, we talked about this before the game to see if one team would, try to get these instant invades or if they would have this kind of mutual respect. And right now, Frank's Furters is showing none of that. They want these camps. They're just sliding right in and taking them. Even when they have the advantage on the way to level 10, they're still just taking these fights whenever they please.
Yeah, finally some aggression moving from Frank's Furters. They get to level 10, a half a level ahead. No real surprises coming out in terms of ultimates. Li Ming still thinking about her level 10 choice and chooses Wave of Force, so no real surprise there. But it will be Mosh Pit for ETC. They want to get those damage numbers.
We're going to see that Bestial Wrath out from Rexar, and that's 200% increased damage to Misha, and she chunks whenever that is active. So that's going to be something extremely important to watch out for in these fights.
Yeah, they really have Rexar acting as a sort of damage deal. And looking at some of these talents, you've got Aspect of the Beast, more stuns, Animal Husbandry for Rexar. So watch out if Rexar ever dies and loses those sweet animal stacks.
Late game will become super important with Rexar, and I thought I saw it in that last fight, but we have full orb build from Li Ming. So no dominance to get that health, no Calamity to blink in to finish these kills. Really looking to turn her into VP coming out with the APOC follow through, but nobody really in position to get the damage. A little bit mistimed. The stun doesn't hit. Hentron is going to get away. They're going to drop the Devouring Jaws there from Orphea. Diablo is going to go deep. Going to need a couple tower shots trying to get away here. Genji doesn't get the reset. Wave of Force also goes down. The Misha stun. Diablo falling. going, and Eugenez is gonna fall. Diablo with another death, and that is a Souls reset.
Yeah, complete Souls resets means Diablo is going to be a lot squishier in these fights. Zeratul almost went down. Boggs went in for the kill. Zeratul got down to about 40 hit points. That's just insane. Oh, here's a B-step. Oh, out of vision from the Magic Master for the camera's eyes only. So hope the viewers enjoyed that B-step at home. The rest of Luciodology are waiting for everybody to come back. Instead, they're going to get a camp going. Nothing really on the map besides the support camp, which they decide not to get. They may decide to clear this wave instead. 50%. There's Arthas trying to go in, trying to make an initiation. There's 3 roots down. ETC comes in, 4-man Mosh. Genji is just going through, killing everybody. Li Ming is trying to get the resets. There's the Orphea damage, though, trying to push everybody up. But Diablo goes down as well. Zeratul killed in the backline. Brightwing goes down, and Frank's Furters are just out for blood.
That mosh pit was cash money. ETC turned it up to 11 there, and with X strike on for Genji, X marks the spot, dropped it right down on that 3-man mosh, and it did work. And after that, the fight just fell apart. Misha actually sat a little bit too long in the Orphea ult, which kept proccing it, doing a little bit of extra damage, but no harm, no foul.
I did not catch how Zeratul died. Who caught him?
I think it might have been Genji on the aftermath there, swift striking down to the bottom, trying to get Zeratul.
Okay, ooh, Zeratul. Speaking of him, Hentron is looking very low. Finally gets out, has a blink away in time. Hentron just looking to do some poke damage, but this keep might not be long for this world. Orphea is in trouble. Diablo comes out to peel, and they all escape. Good play from Diablo peeling for the Orphea.
Yeah, and this Punisher is doing work to this top keep, while Rexar is down here in the middle, pushing this mid lane, and so they're actually getting value in 2 lanes, and they have about a 2-level lead right now.
Yeah, as ETC tries to come in, but Hentron is ahead of him as he blinks out. ETC, though, helping the Protector finish off the mid keep. Brightwing comes in to give some shield to Zeratul. Zeratul blinks out of the orb from Li Ming, Magic Master. Went Glass Cannon, so this is the full disrespect build, in my opinion.
We have Glass Cannon and Animal Husbandry.
Yeah,
Those are 2 things that tell me that Frank's Furters has no fear right now.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Lucio with the Soundbear, you've got ETC, but here's an invade coming out from Luciodology. I don't know if Frank's Furters is going to sniff it out or not. In fact, they are going for the reverse invade, and they see now that their camp has been taken, but there are still people. Luciodology maybe getting a little too greedy, trying to get both of these, but they don't get the second one, so they trade in the weirdest way possible. They throw the VP down. They go for the APOC combo. They hit everybody. Here's the Orphea ult. Luciodology is trying to get the damage, but the sound barrier is in. Zeratul goes down in response. The Orphea ult got a lot of damage, but it's Luciodology who ends up suffering, and everyone on Frankfurter stays alive.
That combo and that setup was the dream. It was everything Luciodology could have asked for. And I think we really see the disadvantage of this 2-level lead right now. And the stats, the numbers just weren't increased enough, and they weren't able to secure those kills. And that fight turned around, and Zeratul, who had the great initiation to begin with, was actually the first one to fall.
Yeah, I think Sound Barrier, I think, is an underrated ult at the moment. Lucio, there are a lot of teams are kind of sleeping on the Lucio. In my opinion, Sound Barrier basically made that fight go over to Frank's Furters. Oh, there's a big Li Ming orb, gets the combo with the wave of force, shoves Zeratul into the waiting orb. Genji finishes off the Brightwing. What a play from Magic Master.
Fantastic, and they snagged this top camp here, and it looks like with the double camp top and the catapults that they already had from the fort being pushed down, they're going to go ahead and secure this keep, which will be fantastic for the 3rd objective point when it's going to be in the bottom lane.
Yeah, level 16, 2-person pick-off, that's going to be a keep. And they're trying to find Orphea. The Ming Ming orb follows up. Now that is a team that is firing on all cylinders. They're going for core.
Yeah, and with two members, it's 5v4. Arthas is going to pop the army. Zeratul coming in, getting the 3-man VP with the cleave, one of which is Misha. Lucio in there. The APOC hits. The stun comes down. Dowling Pig turns to get the Mosh. Indecisive drops the heal pack. No sound barrier coming out yet. Brightwing falling really low. Not getting the Emerald Wind out. Face Melt does secure the kill. And Indecisive is going to fall in the back line. Zeratul cleaning up, but still without level 16. The slide is going to come out to get the peel onto Arthas, who is controlling this back line. And so far, only a 1-for-1 trade, but it looks like possibly a successful defense of this core.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade and not losing the game is really what Luciodology was looking to get from that fight after Orphea got killed. And Sound Barrier, once again, Lucio was not able to get off because it was on cooldown. It came off cooldown the second that he died.
That is the most unfortunate of circumstances, as now they still don't have level 16. But it looks like they're going to be able to snag this camp and pray that that third invade doesn't come through.
Yeah, that third invade not happening at the moment. They get the camp. That's going to get them some XP towards 16. They've got a lane pushing mid. They've got a lane pushing top they can get XP from. They're getting the XP bottom. But they may not care about 16. They may just be going whole hog.
Yeah, and Lucio's not here yet. Misha getting the big damage out. And Hentron on the Zeratul really low. Gonna have to use that wormhole. ETC coming in, trying to get the slide. Not gonna have it. Hentron is gonna receive the Brightwing Blink, which does get stunned out by the Misha. Galactos is gonna get hit by the slide and the face melt. Down goes Brightwing. Hentron getting away, gonna get hit by that long range orb from this Li Ming. Arthas in the back line with the army, but not gonna be enough, as it looks like a third kill will be secured for Frank's Furters.
Yeah, I think after Zeratul got chunked out, that's when Luciodology needed to get out. I think Zeratul just barely survived there by the pure fact that it was such a crazy wormhole that nobody expected Zeratul to be in the middle of the enemy team. But they've got the Protector. They're marching. It looks like they may just be marching this thing all the way to core.
And yeah, they have catapults in that top lane already. They have 2 kills down, but they've already done about 8% to this core. The catapults, we're working on the shielding. Doesn't look like this has too much value, but if this Protector plays the cards right and the rest of the team can kind of control the damage, they could very well end this game here.
Yeah, in the position of Frank's Furters, you gotta be confident. Oh, here comes Zeratul and getting a big chunk onto Li Ming. Magic Master backs up Hentron, just trying to poke things out. I don't know if Luciodology can hold, but they're damn well gonna try.
Yeah, we'll see here as the poly is going to come out onto Dowling Pig and the VP to save the damage on the core. Fantastic as Magic Master falls in the backline. Fantastic isolation and separation here, and Misha's going to fall. Somebody better call PETA. And right now this core is falling with 35%. The slide coming through, the mosh onto 4 members, ETC securing. Nobody can do damage as the Triglov is going to finish this game. GG, game 1 to Frank's Furters.
Beautiful, beautiful play there at the end. The ETC got the swag mosh pit off. I don't think it was necessary to finish off the game, but it looked awesome. It was a very good mosh pit too. But the Protector just too strong this late game. And what a defense. I got to give it up to Luciodology at the end there. They played the cards the best they could, but they just didn't have enough to kill the Protector. I don't think anybody could have protected them there at that point. But yeah, check out these stat numbers and these talents at the end of the game here. But let's go to our panel. We all guessed wrong on the winner of the draft there. Ryokai, what'd you think about that game? How it ended up?
I think that was, you saw a big weakness of Brightwing there against the huge burst damage. She just can't really sustain the team through that. I got to give it up to Indecisive on the Lucio. I think Luciodology, maybe perhaps ironically, they're going to have to pick or ban that next game.
Yeah.
Also, Dallying Pig on the ETC. I expected ETC to be pretty contested by both teams. So that's what I would say going into game 2, that maybe they need to change it up.
Oh, gotcha. Satat, what'd you see there in that game?
So I love the VP APOC combo. What Brightwing should have been doing out of that combo is hitting that Lucio with a polymorph, because the one big APOC combo they had, Lucio got off the sound barrier, and that crushed him on the bottom camp. Another thing that you saw happen, I'm surprised Diablo didn't take Soul Shield at 1, because the one thing that would wreck their team is them dropping, right? Diablo dying to a reset. So if he has Soul Shield, he doesn't die to that reset, and he can protect himself, and then they can turn on him. Also, if they're focused a little bit better, Polymorph they can use to reset too, and you can use it off of the Bear or Li Ming. So Polymorph, just a little bit better target on Polymorph, and I think Luciology could have done a little bit different in that sense. But Frankfurter's got to give it up to them for what they did and how they pulled it out. That was amazing. Lucio play, Genji play was really good, and the Moshes, holy smokes, those Moshes controlled that game, and very good Moshes.
Awesome. Yeah. I want to see out of Luciodology. I really like their combination better. I think it was just really the level of execution. Once you had the Lucio, once with the Brightwing, I think is a little higher on the side of Luciodology. So I'd like to see them stay as team oriented and as combo focused and really focusing on trying to work together as a team, and I think that they can have success in the next game. But speaking of the next game, do we know yet where we are headed, B-Train?
We have the map. And I
All
tell you
right.
what, this game should be one for all of eternity. We are going to BOE.
All right, Battlefield of Eternity. Now, this is a very, a lot of teams like to play the objective on this map, and it's a very solid strategy for Battlefield of Eternity. But we could see Frank's Furters just saying to heck with the objective and being as aggressive and invade focused as they were in the previous game. So I'm very interested to see what both these teams are going to bust out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think on this map, we saw it banned in game 1, the Garrosh, but if the ETC play seemed to be too, on the level that you don't want to deal with anymore, and we talked about target banning, and if the Garrosh is something I want to see if they keep targeted here, because he absolutely owns on this map. Being able to reposition people around the Immortal is a fantastic ability to have. So we'll see if these teams want to focus on trying to either race or just win the team fights and then deal with the Immortal at their own speed.
Yeah, agreed. All right, I think we are waiting for a lobby at the moment. So, very interesting. Like I said, every division has its own meta. ETC probably highly contested at the moment. I think Lucio may be banned out. Zeratul, someone in chat mentioned. Oh no, it was Ryokai. It was our own Ryokai. You mentioned a Zera ban from Frank's Furters. You think they're going to be worried about it in this map?
Maybe not as much on BOE, but that was definitely, you can tell that they were very practiced with those follow-up combos. And if those fights went half a second differently, that would have been a completely flip-flopped game in terms of the side there.
Do any of you guys think that Orphea is going to come out on this map too? I don't know that she has the best race on this map, but she could still be picked up. Do you think we see her?
I think that Orphea is an interesting hero. She has good damage as long as she's hitting heroes. That's what allows her to get the resets. That's what's give her mobility and the marks to do more damage. And I think it comes down to what styles the team wants to have. So I know some teams don't aim for the Immortal race because if you can't win your team fight, what good does it matter if you can race the Immortals? So I think you have to have kind of that healthy balance. And I think we'll try to see what these teams, decide to go for. I think ultimately the direction that they want their draft to go will dictate whether or not we see heroes for team fighting or purely for that macro race style.
Okay, and it looks like, this was the map choice of Luciodology. So giving Frank Furters the first pick once again. So it looks like they are maybe more practiced on this map. So let's see if we can get this to a game 3.
Yeah, and hopefully for those of you watching, I had a couple camera issues that game, trying to sort that out here in this lobby, trying to make sure I have everything ready to go. But yeah, this game is going to be fantastic. BOE is always one of those games or maps where a late game objective can completely swing everything within one of these games. So, hopefully if one team does get down, we don't count them as out, and neither do they, because all they have to do is win one team fight and this map completely flips.
Yeah, okay. It looks like we're just about ready to get started here. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, okay, we have another. Okay, no, I thought we had somebody else observing this game. Let's get everybody in here. If we can fit 6 observers, there's still room for one more. But yeah, get it together, and especially if you're Luciodology, you really want to at least have the 1-1. Even if you lose a point, you stop Frank Furters from getting too much higher over you in the standings, and you want in this middle point of the season, you really want to get ahead so that you can make a run for the playoffs at the end.
Yeah, and especially, one of the things is with this, especially being a premier match, some people worry about trying to hide some things, hide some strats, hide some drafts, but we saw it in the pregame show in the interview. Luciodology was not shy about saying we have an Alarak player. So if if you're not trying to hide anything here, I want to see both teams hold nothing back. I want to see them throw punches like two heavyweights.
Yeah, I agree. And NGS, awesome thing about NGS is teams always come prepared. People know these other teams. People look at the replays. All the replays are public, so you can see what your team is playing, and there's the Alarak band. So these teams know who each other are. No one's gonna slip through, being an unknown Vikings player or some kind of like, oh, this this person's a killer Samuro or whatever they do that's insane. Oh, Valera, you're not gonna sneak anything by, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to point out so far in this draft is Garrosh still not banned. Ooh. Rexar instead.
Okay, almost identical bans, but it is the Rexar being traded for the Garrosh in terms of bans. Luciodology don't want to mess with that. Oh, this is my jam. So Tot, is Rexar just really strong right now?
He's in a really weird place, and it's in a good place where he does a lot of damage in offlane. He gets killed by good offlaners, but he can throw out a lot of damage, and his auto attack is just nuts, and people don't know how to deal with him. So it's a safe ban for people that are unsure of how to kind of counter him, because you have to get to Rexar and not the bear, and the bear is extremely hard to kill, but it's the focus of people.
Yeah. Now Zeratul Diablo looking for the same setup. You think? B-Train, do you think they go for a different setup besides Orphea?
So I think,
or a follow-up rather.
I think for follow-up, one of the old combos that I've always loved, it's always been near and dear to my heart, is Jaina. Ring of Frost following a ring or a VP APOC is just nasty stuff. And even if you misplay it a little bit, that just the damage output from those heroes is so much. Because sure, the APOC has that stun for a second or a second and a half, whatever the actual number is, and Orphea's ult doesn't do the insane amount of damage that a Jaina can do to that area. And without that extra CC like an Earthquake or a Tomb to make sure that everybody stays in Orphea's circle, which Ring does. Ring has that extra lockdown. It's where you can dump your damage in one spot. So I would like to see them go for a more bursty mage, and we see that they're not going to pick the Orphea because they themselves banned her.
Very interesting. So definitely saying they aren't going to do that, and they ban out the Stukov. So same exact bans coming from Furters. And Furters, they've got two of the same tools that they had last game, ETC and Lucio. So it looks like that's sort of a comfort duo for them, along with the Hanzo, which, as we all know, is the best racer on this map.
So after his rework, I don't know what his actual place on that leaderboard is for race, but he's definitely up there. Like
it's I have done the math actually. It actually before his rework, it was literally twice the next best racer, which I believe was Li Ming, and I think Vala too in Greymane. But after his rework, it's not quite twice, but it's still more than any other hero. So Li Ming and Cassia picked up. I like the Li Ming pick a lot. The Cassia, you think that's for the Hanzo?
So I think it's kind of a bit of everything. Cassia, or the Cassia pick, she has oh my lord. Okay, well the Cassia pick surely is for the Hanzo, I would assume, because Hanzo gets the cooldown reduction on his scatter arrow with auto attacks. So if you keep him blinded, you kind of negate his ability to race. And Cassia does a good job with that. And, Lightning Ball here into a VP APOC, it's just going to spell danger. But a Gul'dan coming out for Frankfurters.
Yeah. Very interesting on this map of all places, too. I don't know how it works. And they grab the Lily. They are definitely going for a Lily Cassia combo, trying to blind everybody to get Cassia that extra damage. But let's take a talk at our panel. Let's talk at our panel and see what they say. Let's start with Ryokai. What do you think of these drafts?
So we saw the first half of draft go pretty similarly, and then they definitely changed it up here. I think I like Frankfurters more this game. I think the Lucio ETC is just going to be really strong again. I expect the Hanzo Gul'dan is just going to pump out enough poke damage in these team fights that I think they're going to take this one.
All right, let's check in with Satat. What do you think of these drafts?
Holy smokes, what's going on here? I see the there's synergy with Cassia Lily, but I just Cassia really struggles against teams that can lock her down, and ETC is probably one of the best heroes for locking down Cassia. So if you can, especially if Frankfurters and Dowling Pig can do what he did last game, where he slid through and had those moshes, Cassia's going to get exploded, and Lily's just going to be throwing one jug at a time at her, hoping she survives, and it's just not going to pay off. So I also like Frankfurters draft just a little bit more this game.
What about you, B-Train?
I'm partial here. I have to give it to my Gul'dan. I'm a Gul'dan main,
all right,
and that's my hero. So I'm gonna stick with Frankfurters just for Gul'dan purposes. I'm biased.
All right, I'm gonna buck the trend. I'm gonna say Luciodology. I want to see a game number 3, and I like the VP APOC combo. If Cassia goes Valkyrie, I want to see Gul'dan pulled out of place. He is the weak link, in my opinion, on their team. So let's see what happens, but let's get into introducing the teams.
Yeah, a little bit late here, already on the move, but on the left we have Magic Master on the Gul'dan, Indecisive on the Lucio, Boggs on the Hanzo, Dallying Pig on the ETC yet again, and in the top we have Cruncher77 on the Dahaka.
And on the side of hell, in the red, we've got Luciodology with Galactose on the Lily, Lemony Fresh on the Cassia, Takulu on the Li Ming, Hentron on the Zeratul, and News on the Diablo. And I just want to point out, Gul'dan has 420 hero damage already. Nice.
All right. We went there. We took it there. I'm not allowed to say some of the heroes' names, but we're taking it there, as Zeratul will be facing off in the top lane against Dahaka, and that's an interesting matchup. The wave clear's about even, but we see right here Dahaka already having to burn the burrow, trying to stay alive from Hentron, and both of them falling pretty low.
Ooh. Yeah, Hentron looking in real rough shape. Dahaka has self-sustained. Hentron on the Zeratul does not. I'd like actually to see Cassia and Zeratul swap so that Zeratul can, make rotations to get ganks, and Cassia can just hold the lane down instead.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how they do this laning phase. Dahaka's pretty beefy, and he does have that global. And this game, they don't have that global ability, and we saw last game they chose to ban the Dahaka. So BOE's not a map I would have expected to see the dinosaur on, but there's a lot of places to dig, and there's a lot of good flanks that he can obtain with that. So we'll see how much value it does get them in this game.
Yeah, Hentron is trying to hold his own against the Hagen. Gul'dan's getting so much damage on his corruption. He's at 15 stacks on echoed corruption already. He is okay, it's not 1/3, but just over 1/3 of the way there.
Echoed corruption is a big power spike. As you have it essentially doubles the damage of the ability even before that 16, because you do get the bounce back, which in some of these choke points around the Immortal fight are going to get just omega value. The only thing I fear is that with a Zeratul and a Cassia and a Diablo coming right at face, hitting those point blank corruptions is kind of a pain. So we'll see how much the ETC is able to keep enemies at bay so that Gul'dan can get that free and safe casting.
Magic, it's really all going to be up to Magic Master. The Fears, if the Fears are anything like Magic Master's Li Ming play from last game, there's going to be some sick horrifies.
Can't pick up on the side of Frankfurters. They already got it done, and Luciodology's a little late getting it started, but it looks like they should have it done in time, and everybody will be ready to race when these Immortals pop up.
All right, and they're popping up right now. Both camps are out. Both teams are on the defensive. It looks like Cassie's going to move up and get on there, but Lemony Fresh backs out as Frankfurters push them away. And both teams, just playing it safe for now. Hanzo trying to get some poke on the Immortal.
Yeah, and you have a global with Dahaka, and I would like to see him in this top lane clearing up this camp right now, but instead looks like he's going to waddle his way on up now and try to take care of that.
Yeah, Boggs actually in trouble. Zeratul hunts him down, uses Vorpal Blade to get to him. Is Boggs going to go down to Zeratul? Has it? He does. The cleave will finish him off before Lucio can heal him and or speed him out.
Yeah, unfortunate location by Boggs there on the Hanzo. Gonna get the wall jump, but Wormhole, or excuse me, Vorpal, his Magic Master's gonna get blinked onto by the Zeratul as well. Diablo charge coming out, gonna get the flip. ETC gets the slide, the peels, the face melt. Zeratul coming in with the blink, and Li Ming with the orb is gonna secure that kill. And that's 2 picks now for Luciodology.
Luciodology really playing this well. Hentron now playing the kind of game I think he wanted to play last game, really hunting down the rest of the team. The slide misses Zeratul, but the face melt will not. But they're getting a lot of damage on this Immortal, almost getting it to halftime.
Halftime show does go over in favor of Luciodology here, and with both of these Immortals going safe side just for pure race, you know, this being the first Immortal, typically we see teams just race it, as defending it could put you in one of those holes, but right now, Frank's Furters is stepping up, and Dahaka falling low.
Oh, but Diablo is in trouble and gets stuck in place by the rest of Frank's Furters, and down goes Diablo. However, Li Ming has so much poke on here, it's going to be a little tough for Frank's Furters to keep Li Ming off of this Immortal. And they have Hanzo on the other hand, though. He's going to be able to relatively quickly get through that Immortal.
Yeah,
It is only level 6.
Yeah, Hanzo not having that cooldown reduction, but hold on, the slide gonna come out and the lick and the boss stun onto Cassia as ETC is gonna secure another kill on Lemony Fresh. Hentron gonna miss the spike and have to blink out after dropping that cleave, but Li Ming from the bottom getting that poke in, like you said.
Yeah, this poke I don't think is going to be enough. Hanzo is making mincemeat of the enemy Immortal. Lucio might be in trouble, but Zeratul gets drugged by Dahaka. Good peel from Cruncher77, and the Immortal goes over to Frank's Furters. I think Luciodology got a little too antsy trying to get damage on the Immortal.
Yeah, and we see that life drain coming out from Gul'dan at level 4, not electing to go into the improved life tap or the consume soul. So really looking to, I believe that one just reduces the cooldown while you're channeling it. So if you get away with one of those full channels, the cooldown is reduced, and if somebody dies while under the effects of it, it does reset the cooldown. So Gul'dan looking to really be able to trade out into that Zeratul.
This Immortal will be pushing on the front wall. His shields are gone already. That's the nice thing about getting so much damage on the Immortal. Hanzo trying to peck away at the back line of Luciodology. There's a huge corruption on Lemony Fresh. Cassia in trouble. You know, Cassia's biggest weakness is spell power damage because he has that natural armor. This Immortal's going to get the fort.
Yeah, and taking a look at talents, Gul'dan sitting at 30 stacks. ETC is going to drop that power slide. Nothing really going to follow up too scary, but the support player for Luciodology on the Lili does not elect to choose that cleanse, so not looking to cleanse any of these ISOs or the slides or even Horrifies and Moshes. So we'll see if that has any effect on some of the later stages of this game.
Yeah, it just feels like she needs the raw healing numbers instead of cleanse, and we'll see how that works out for the Lili player. Zeratul had to tap, actually goes back, tries to beat up Dahaka, but Dahaka gets another stun. Poor Zeratul is not having a good time against this Dahaka.
Interesting matchup down there. Zeratul is actually going to eat a tower shot, gets the spike to get the slows, and right now, depending on essence levels, this could be anyone's fight. But up here in the top lane, we still have 4 members from each team posturing at this keep wall.
All right, they're posturing whip. They're trying to push these Khazra camp towards the front wall, see if they can get some damage on these structures. Wow, Gul'dan already at only 7 stacks away from finishing Echo Corruption. He's hit a lot of damage with that spell.
Yeah, Echoed Corruption almost complete. Prog Rock almost done as well. Essence for Dahaka's over halfway done, and Hanzo sitting at 12 out of 20 stacks for that Scatter Arrow build. So the lick is going to come out onto Zeratul here. Cruncher taking lots of damage from towers. Hanzo's not going to be able to secure that kill. Zeratul is going to get away as Luciodology is picking up their Bruiser camp before this Immortal spawn.
Yeah, Hentron has to back. It means he's going to be a little bit late to the fight. However, the Immortal spawning, it looks like in very safe positions.
Yeah, safe race, it looks like for both of these teams, which does greatly benefit Luciodology here, should Frank's Furters decide to purely race with this level 10 advantage in their pocket.
Yeah, they've got the level 10. I think this Immortal very clearly going over to Frank's Furters. Luciodology's not even attempting to stop it before halftime. They want to get the XP, and they're going to defend on halftime. And it will be the APOC VP combo. We'll see if the follow-up works out for them. Cassia holding her out, really thinking about what she wants to do.
Yeah, we have the VP, the APOC, and we are going to get the Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And Valkyrie,
I like it.
Yeah, Valkyrie is one of those things you can use to interrupt a mosh pit, especially without a cleanse. The big VP on the back is going to go onto both DPS dealers here. Zeratul, the APOC combo is going to come down. We're going to get the Sound Barrier out and the huge two-man mosh, but the Horrify comes out after Wave of Force does stop the mosh. Hentron barely going to get out with about 200 HP. The Dragon Arrow hits him on the way out. The back door hit him, and that is a kill in favor of Furters.
And that was a big mosh from ETC. It was interrupted immediately, but it slowed everybody down long enough to get a kill on the Zeratul. It set up the Horrify perfectly. However, yeah, top camp is pushing on the fort. That fort may be done for. That's a small consolation if they get it for Luciodology. But that fight was a little bit chaotic for Luciodology. They only got 2 in the VP APOC combo, and they weren't able to get their DPS in place to follow up on it.
Yeah, and, you know, the mosh was interrupted immediately, but we saw the return damages. Diablo is actually going to get slid and licked. Zeratul coming in with big cleave damage, and he's going to use that wormhole to blink out. And right now, Furters doesn't have to rush anything. They can take their time as Corruption is hitting huge.
Yeah, Furters have lots of damage in the Immortal. There's a big drag onto Diablo. Diablo looking to flip to Haka. Haka has Essence, though. Cruncher really getting aggressive, and Luciodology realizing the position that they're in. Lili is in trouble. Galactos goes down.
And the Immortal with 21,000 points in that shield for Furters. It's going to run down this bottom lane, and they will definitely be knocking possibly through that keep wall.
All right, the Immortal now pushing bottom. They're trying to make as much damage on this wall as possible. Zeratul trying to find something, but instead finds a power slide to the face, and there's a VP with a combo. Zeratul goes down. It does not allow to turn off the VP, and that's 2 ults wasted.
Horrify does come out to secure that kill onto Cassia. Zeratul unable to drop that VP. And, oh, the Dragon are going to come out and get the big 4-man stun with the Lucio. Boop. And Lemony Fresh somehow still alive. Lili able to get it done, but the slide is going to secure Lili. Take the heals out. And with that, this almost... It's still shielded. This Immortal is absolutely wrecking, and it still has the range damage from the shields.
It's absolutely insane. Lemony Fresh almost died 7, but no, Zeratul, Hentron in trouble, has the wormhole out. But yeah, Lemony Fresh almost died like 7 times there, and then Lili gets a random face melt over the wall and dies. Hentron really pushing the limits of surviving this Immortal, trying to get into the keep. Lemony Fresh in trouble again, trying to get out. Do they have more stuns? They're trying to chase her down, and Lemony Fresh survives.
Hanzo completes that scatter build and scatter quest, excuse me, as they are going to snag this keep, and Dahaka's pushing these catapults in the top lane as well. So a multi-pronged attack here, and they're putting damage down on this core.
Yeah, they've got the Li Ming though, and Li Ming is always a good defensive option. They've got some core damage. The Immortal's dead. Do they back out or do they keep trying for it? It looks like they're backing out. Diablo trying to push ETC to isolate him, but Dalian Pig gets out.
Meanwhile, Dahaka in the top lane does get through the entire wall, and about 10% does fall off the core of Luciodology.
Man, if you're Luciodology, it's a rough game back into this. Fortunately for them, they do have top fort destroyed, so they at least have access to the keep in the top lane, and you need to have somebody soaking that top lane right now. You're losing a good deal of XP if you're not getting that top lane. You really need to get to that 13 talenter, and if you're Luciodology, oh, actually here comes Furters. Galactos caught way out, and down goes Lili.
Stopped for tea time, and with that, a swift kill. 26 seconds of no Lili, and right now with no heals, this could be somewhat troublesome if Furters decides to push, but without level 16, it does look like they're going to take it easy here and just continue to collect some of this XP.
Ooh, Blocks takes a orb to the face, but hops out, has to be just fine. Lemony Fresh walking into the middle of the enemy team. ETC slides through. ETC was not expecting Cassie to be there.
Yeah, some of the positioning is questionable, and ETC's really looking to capitalize on that, as we see Dahaka snagging the camp here for Frank's Furters, and with 16 to 13 level advantage, we'll see. This Immortal honestly shouldn't have any contest.
Yeah, this Immortal 16 to 13, but you know, once you get this Immortal, you know, it's definitely like, is there a lot to it? Like, is there enough they can do to stop it?
I mean, that halftime was quick. That was
Yeah.
very expedited, that race, and you know, Gul'dan and Hanzo really come on, and Zeratul is going to drop the VP in the back. Dallying Pig is going to get some zoning here as the APOC combo does come out. We're going to get the charge onto the wall, onto the Indecisive. He is going to get the sound barrier off as Zeratul's in the back lane doing damage to Magic Master, who does have the life drain, and right now this fight needs to end quicker. There's going to be core damage against the side of Luciodology.
The Dragon Arrow completely whiffs. That's going to give Luciodology some more liveness team fight, but Lemony Fresh taking a ton of damage with the stun, getting onto Dahaka, but Dahaka is just too tanky to die.
And Li Ming getting in that backline, not able to get the resets. Lemony Fresh diving in, 1v4 is going to fall, and Dahaka just ever living the dinosaur right now in this backline, keeping so many members of Luciodology busy as their core is falling.
All right, the core is falling. The Shaman camp is pushing on it. Hentron is going for broke. It looks like Luciodology think that team fight is going to win or lose in the game. So either way, they go down. The team fight lost. And now B-Steps are coming out as Frank's Furters are making a trail of corpses as they make their way to the core, and they'll finish it off very quickly. Game number 2 and the match going over to Frank's Furters.
Absolute great job on those team fights.
KDA? Fox goes down. KDA ruined.
Yeah, 3 kills to 12 in favor of Frank's Furters, and that is game 2 of this series to Frank's Furters.
Boggs apologizing in chat for B-Steps. It was meant friendly. And it's a friendly B-Step, so you know, everyone hopefully takes that in stride. But yeah, game number 2, once again with Frank's Furters. I wanted to see a game number 3, but everyone else was correct in their draft choices. Let's hear from Satat. What do you think of that game?
So pretty much it was like a repeat of game 1, just a little different on how it happened. Yeah, and I do like that they took Li Ming, that Luciology took Li Ming to kind of counter the ETC mosh, and she was doing a good job of interrupting it, but Cassia just got CC'd and died, was not able to put out damage. And I was surprised with Valkyrie. Like, I heard you guys say the same thing. Like, Valkyrie is a weird pick in that it's going to keep people in one area. And so that was surprising. And Lily just is not able to keep the heals up with the comp that Frankfurters had. So, good job to Frankfurters in executing.
Yeah. Ryokai, what did you notice about that game?
Yeah, I think that game mostly came down to draft. I just didn't really see the follow-up to the VP APOC. That the first 2 steps of it looked good, and then what comes after looks like they didn't really figure it out. So, yeah, GG's to Frank's Furters. I think well done by them, and yeah, good games.
All right. Let's see if we can get a interview, I believe, with one of the captains, with one of the team members, rather, of Frank's Furters. Let's see if I can get a hold of them. Yeah, B-Train, some high-octane games tonight coming out from Frank's Furters. They're looking really good in this division.
Yeah, and doing it with, you know, some kind of, you know, comfort picks that we even spoke about. You know, normally you don't see ETC or Lucio first picked. I believe Ana went untouched that entire series. And, you know, when I come to think of supports that are extremely powerful, she's one of the ones I think about. And, you know, they went with the Lucio, they took their ETC, and they did a fantastic job. And, you know, with none of those heroes taken away from them, they were able to play comfort. And the Zeratul Diablo combo, you know, like the analyst said, the VP APOC combo was there. It was actually pretty well coordinated, except for I think one time where Zeratul died in the middle of the combo. But the follow-up damage not quite able to tip the scales in their direction, and you know that ultimately is kind of what led to the 2-0 for Frank's Furters. But you know those fights were, some of them were extremely long, and there was a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, it's I think Frankfurters are really working well together. They've got a game plan going into these team fights, and they're able to execute off of that. You can tell that they're communicating very well. It looks like we're gonna let's see. I'm gonna try to coordinate this interview. It looks like Ind will be joining us. I forget who was. I forgot everything. Indecisive. I instantly forgot everybody's name that we just cast in some thing. So when we trying to set up the interview here, so I'm going to it right now.
Alrighty. I believe Indecisive is the support player for Frank's Furters. So the Lucio and I think both games, yeah. So interesting. Didn't get to play Stukov at all, which, you know, I'm a big fan of Stukov. He's doing well in NGS this season. So I was hoping we'd maybe see some of that, but you know, not tonight. It wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to hop over. We're going to lose my camera for a bit. We're going to be joining Indecisive here in Lobby 1, so see you in a second.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Indecisive on the line. Indecisive, how you feeling? That's a pretty strong 2-0 victory.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling pretty great right now, to be honest.
Awesome. Now, hey, you know, you were on the Lucio there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I mean, I was noticing the Lucio play for sure. We definitely called out that sound barrier. That sound barrier was the difference in almost every single fight. Is that Lucio ETC? Is that a combo you guys like to do a lot?
Lucio ETC is two very comfortable picks for us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something that we do a lot. But you know, it's just how it goes. You know, sound barrier has been something that I've had a lot of work on because I used to play Lucio in Overwatch as well.
Fair enough. Do you find is there obviously there's a difference in play there. What would you say the difference is between playing Lucio in Overwatch and in Heroes of the Storm?
Playing Lucio in Overwatch, you don't want to blow your sound barrier just to save one person or just to cancel one ability. But playing it in Heroes of the Storm, it's totally fine to do that. And that was definitely something that was weird to transition over.
Awesome. Now, looking back at these matches, do you help with the drafting, or is that dallying pig, or how does that work on your team?
The draft is almost entirely me, with obviously input from everybody else, but I am the one who makes the calls on when things are picked, what's banned, you know, final decisions.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, the Rexar in game number 1, is that something you guys have been running often? Do you think it's strong right now?
I think Rexar is definitely one of the stronger heroes in the game right now, but I think he's only really strong in certain people's hands. You know, you don't look at the tank, you look at who's driving the tank. So I feel like Rexar is definitely one of the stronger heroes in the right hands, and I feel like our Rexar in particular is very powerful. And it's something that we've usually saved for game 3, but we wanted to come out really swinging here, so we pulled out game.
Now, I know ETC in a lot of circles is seen as really like fragile as far as tanks go. Is that a concern when you draft him?
It's definitely something that we talk about. Like if the opponent has an ETC, we typically do talk about like, oh, focus ETC. You know, he's much squishier than you. But realistically, we don't think about that much when we draft. We're usually confident enough in our support that we'll be able to keep the ETC up.
Awesome. B-Train, you got any questions for these guys?
I think mostly my question is tied to the drafts. We saw first ban both games was instantly Alarak, not wanting to deal with that hero at all. Obviously, we saw in the interview for the pregame show that there was a respect ban, or as I call it sometimes, a disrespect ban, because you want to make people play other heroes and prove that they can. But the Deckard ban, was that something else that you guys scouted, or is that just a hero that kind of breaks the comps that you guys typically like to run?
No, personally, I actually enjoy playing against Deckard because I find him easy to counter with Lucio. But we did notice that they were very, very comfortable on the Deckard. So if we could force them outside of that comfort zone, that was definitely something we wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting people out of the comfort zone is always the best way to kind of tip the scales in your favor, and you guys did a fantastic job with that. I really don't have much to pick apart. Those games were absolutely fire.
Thank you.
All right. So unless there's any more questions, the room is yours for shout outs, Indecisive.
All right. Just 1 second. Let me pull up my boys. I have a list. Hold on. Okay. Let me shout out Franklin, Frank, Franco, and Frankie, my teammates. Yeah, that's all.
You broke Dunk. Come on, man.
That is one of the best shout outs I've heard in NGS. That's beautiful. I love that bit. That was wonderful and nice. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Anytime, brother.
And good luck at the rest of the season. All
Thank you.
right. Okay, and I believe we're going to hop back into the voice. Right.
All right, here we go. Let's get back everything on track. Yeah, those were some really fantastic games, and I think both teams did a great job in playing picks that you're comfortable with, playing picks that you're good with, that you're practiced with is always the best way to play, in my opinion. And I think, especially with the unfortunate demise of the professional scene, I think a lot of people have opened up that creativity, and it breeds wonderful games to cast, to watch, to even to play in. So I love seeing that, and I hope we see more of that absolutely throughout this season.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing it as teams try to get an edge over one another as we get towards the playoffs for NGS Season 6. But yeah, I think that's going to bring it to the end of the Thursday night showdown. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'd like to shout out the production crew, Jason, Turd Herder, Arthur, oh my God, I always get this wrong, Arthur Lau. I want to thank our guests. Satat had to go, got his NGS game tonight. Ryokai, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, I want to shout out our observer, Fallon Drith, who's around. I don't know if he's gonna say hi or not.
I can't, but you always catch me off guard with that.
Okay, loving that. I forgot to take myself off mute joke. But it looks like Jason has an announcement coming soon. I don't know when that's going to be. I wasn't informed of anything, so I don't think it'll be on this broadcast. But B-Train, can you hear me?
Yeah, I have you.
Okay, sorry. There's a little spinning circle, and I'm like, did I get disconnected? Am I just talking to nobody right now? But no, I am. So big thank you to everyone who works on Nexus Edge and makes the pregame videos. They are always fire, and they always hype me up before every match. So I'm very excited that we got this going. It's some of the best stuff NGS has ever done. So I'm very happy with that. And of course, my co-caster, B-Train. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. And thank you for coming out. And it was a fantastic stream. And I was trying to get the announcement set up. I had it prepared, but I'm having some issues. Let me try to get that up for everybody.
All right, I lied.
Yeah, we have an announcement. We have a video. It did get completed. Jason took care of that for us. And hopefully I can get that playing here and we don't have any further issues. But I wanted to give shout outs obviously to the whole crew and for everybody that came out and watched. Had a couple of issues with the camera tonight, so everybody, thanks for not flaming the caster. This is obviously my first time running the show here for the Thursday night showdown, so much appreciated, and hopefully everyone enjoyed the show, and hopefully I can get this this showdown or this clip to play, and I'm gonna try to do that right now. So let's see what we can get here.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Thursday night
showdown. And there we have it, folks. Everybody, check this announcement out from Jason.
Since the off season that we feel like has been nothing short of a complete success so far. It's been wonderful to come together with the analyst team, the casters, the captains, and the teams to highlight the best thing about NGS, the community, the competition, and the fun. We feel like this project is finally taking the biggest and best matches and turning them into the spectacle that we think they should be. With all the success we've seen so far, we're excited to announce that next week we will be launching our second showdown match night of the week, the Monday Night Showdown. And that's not all. The following week, on April 2nd, we will be launching a third showdown night, the Tuesday Night Showdown. we'll be featuring the same style of pregame show with myself and Mongoose, bringing you the matches live every Monday night right here on the NGS Twitch channel. But I haven't come empty-handed. Tonight, I leave you all with the Monday Night Showdown intro made by Weenus.
Are you ready to begin?
Stepping up, they know they want this fight. Big Sundering catches Li Ming, and she is down fast.
As these two teams out of CEs are just punching each other in the mouth right now.
Purification salvo, Ring of Frost. This is a bloodbath.
Can they get the core though? 22%.
And that is a triple kill.
Might be the end of it. That is it.
Well done.